So, firstly, my name is Pradnil Kamble, and I can also speak Hindi and Marathi with English. So, I would be very much happy to receive questions in Hindi or Marathi or in English. Any language is fine. You can also write us questions in different languages other than the ones that I understand. And for sure, our mentors or me, I can come back to you with some answers in the group or also privately. I am a PhD candidate who is studying robotics and artificial intelligence at the moment, and I'm also involved in research. So I'm also a student of artificial intelligence, as I said, and it's a privilege for me to also introduce these topics to you as a community altogether. So we are part of Ambedkar AI initiative, and the title of this particular course or this particular session is from foundation to practice. So we will try to understand what AI is, what artificial intelligence is. We'll try to understand its layers, and we'll see like what as a community we can do and what do we plan to do here onwards in this particular initiative. To begin with, I often ask this question to a lot of people, including in my family, especially about AI, and they knowingly or unknowingly are using artificial intelligence in their day-to-day life. I think all of us somehow use AI in our day-to-day life. It could be through some apps that we commonly use, for example, Instagram, YouTube, and also in Instagram, you get a lot of recommended feed. You get a lot of AI-based content that we are seeing these days. In fact, funny enough, these days my mother is sending me a lot of reels, and whenever I see them, I realize that they are most of them AI generated. So it has been really difficult at times to figure out what is AI and what is not AI, because AI based content has been improving, and there are a lot of people that are generating a lot of such content and putting it on such platforms like YouTube and Instagram. um, but other than that, the application, which is the Face ID application that your mobile uses to unlock itself basically, so this application, what it does is it has learned your face. So even if your eyes are closed, or even if you are looking at a different direction or from a different angle, this particular app could still recognize that it's you because it has learned your features. It has not just remembered you, but it has learned how you would look like when you are sleepy, how you would look like when you are tired. And that is what Face ID app is basically. Um, and in fact, Spotify, and there are many other apps that we use in our day to day life, which are more or less, I would say, somehow they embed AI inside of it. And of course, ChatGPT, which we'll talk about in the next slides. So the point is that this particular technology that we talk about, AI, which everyone is a little bit afraid about, which everyone is a little bit, in doubted about, like what exactly is this? But knowingly or unknowingly, we are just using it in our day-to-day life. So AI is already not the complete idea of AI, because as you could see in the screen, AI is a bigger picture. It's a technology altogether. It's a huge field. It is not just a particular task or approach or method, but it's a technology, it's a course, it's a huge set in itself. So I wouldn't say that we are employing or we are using AI in a holistic way, but we are using some small methods that are part of AI in our day-to-day life, like the ones we talked you know and here you could see, here is an image which we will talk more or less in our future sessions, not in this one. But this session is just to give you an introduce and glimpse of what AI is and what this initiative is about. So let's just know that AI is a big term. It's not a small term. It's not a small method, but it's a technology. It's a big stream altogether, which is capable and which has a lot of fields that come together, a lot of methods that come together, and then the idea is basically a technology that is capable of learning and using knowledge to perform tasks. So this is AI in general. And here you could see a lot of technologies. There could be more that are coming together in the circle of AI. And everything kind of works sometimes separated or sometimes in synergy with each other, kind of. Um, so with this, I think firstly, I usually ask myself this question: that why do we even need AI? Why are we even going in this direction? What is the need that humans have figured out that we would be needing AI altogether as such? So why AI in general? Um, so imagine if I give you 100 books, let's say, and I say you that these are your 100 books, and you have to give me uh, the knowledge out of these 100 books in a day, or let's say tomorrow. By tomorrow, you have to give me a summary of all these 100 books and what they are trying to say or what they mean. So for a human being, this would be a very difficult task, because the more our data is increased and the more we are to be pushed to give a timely decision on a lot of data, the more difficult it gets for us. We can't process a lot of data altogether. And the internet, as we know, has been growing exponentially, literally, from the year 2004. And here you could see a plot, which is a graphic that is from the Washington Post newspaper. And here you could see that um, the digital uh, data that is on internet as well, on web, and is saved on some of the hard disk as well, or on servers altogether, has rapidly and exponentially grew. And in 2007, it is estimated to be around 27 to 276 billion gigabytes of this data. And we know that humans on this planet are around 8 billion. So this is multiple times data more than any human being. So we have more images, more digital data, hundreds of times more than the, all of us here, basically. So it's more than, so the data is a lot more. And in fact, this is from 2007. So imagine what level of data we would be having right now on internet. So to mine all this data, or to learn from all this data, uh, would be a very difficult task for a human mind. So that is why the scientists or mathematicians mostly, they thought that how can we learn from this data that is so much in its volume, and how can we figure out some solutions out of it. So this is where the idea of machine learning by themselves, or artificial intelligence, and intelligence that is artificial in nature, that could go through all of this data in digital format or in any such format, and could learn from it at a pretty high speed or high rate than a human being could, was the initial motivation. And even today, that's the same motivation, which is to process all this data altogether, which a human being is not capable of. And here you could see an image of a human brain, which is just, which just gets more and more messy if you just input more and more data inside of it. And it becomes more and more difficult for a human to process so much of data. So this was the actual motivation. And even today, this is the motivation, that why AI is needed. And here you could see that the data is growing tremendously more and more. With this, I would like to raise a few more questions. So let's just understand AI with some basic questions that everyone asks usually. Or maybe I asked myself, and it would be nice for us to go through these questions and then to figure out what exactly AI is. So, as I said, the AI is a technology capable of learning and using knowledge to perform tasks like human. So, I want to raise a few questions, and I'll pause for some time. So, I want you to actively ponder and think about these questions, because these are very critical for you to understand what exactly AI is. And for that, you have to take a little bit of time and ponder on these questions. So, first question is that, is AI a thinking machine like a human? What are your thoughts? Take some time and get your answer, if it's yes or it's no. And I'll give some pause so that you can ponder a little bit on these particular questions. And the answer for this is actually no. So AI is not a thinking machine like a human being. A human AI is a machine or a technology that finds pattern out of data that is there, basically, that is fed to it. So AI does not have any unique ability to think like a human being, which is also based on a lot of experience that we as human beings have developed, and a lot of our originalities that come up with it. So AI does not have a thinking capacity at this point, the AI that we know as of now. does not have any thinking capacity, and even for a few years onwards, hundreds, 200s, it won't have its own thinking capability. Of course, it can develop or emerge some new ideas, but it would be mostly based on the data that is given to the AI. The second question is, does AI know facts or truth? Do you think AI is always truthful? Do you think whatever I ask ChatGPT, or whatever I ask to some other AI, maybe Gemini, is that the ultimate truth? What do you think? Do you think AI works with facts or knows facts and knows what is truth out there? And the answer for this is as well no. As I said, AI works on the data that it has been trained upon. If the data is wrong, then AI would still give that answer confidently. But that does not mean it is the right answer. Because AI is trained on a lot of data that is on the internet, including articles, newspaper, speeches, and a lot of things. It has learned how to act and sound smart because of these articles and news. So it uses the language that makes it look confident and smart, but it does not mean that it is it is talking facts to us. It is just the data that the AI has been fed it to, and it is trying to learn patterns out of it, and it is trying to act smart and confident because it has realized, the AI has realized, that these articles, this newspaper that we read in our day to day life are pretty much impactful in our lives. So AI wants to give you an answer that impacts you somehow. So it just tries to mimic uh, an intelligent human being. It tries to behave like an intelligent human being, and it uses those words. It uses words like confidence. It uses beautiful words and beautiful articulation just to sound confident. But this does not mean it is giving you facts or truth. So consuming anything that the AI is saying as an ultimate truth is not the good idea. So that's why this answer is also no. Is Google search AI? Is AI, or the other question to phrase it differently, is AI a Google search platform or something like that? This question comes because I have introduced ChatGPT to a lot of people who have not formally worked with any technology as such, and they use ChatGPT as a Google, as a search engine like Google. So just in question, is Google search an AI, or is AI a Google search or something like that? And the answer for this is as well no. AI is not a Google search machine. Google search is a different search algorithm where you type something and it searches for those things based on the keywords. Whatever you type, let's say you type Baba Sahib Ambedkar, and it will search for whatever document or content is related to Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Of course, it will use some strategies and algorithms to reduce the time of search, but it is not AI. Of course, people are trying to integrate AI inside Google and Google Maps. Definitely, it looks smart to us because of the mathematics underlining mathematics, but it is not AI. It is not learning anything. It is just trying to give you the quickest answer to what you have searched, basically. The fourth question is, can AI think creatively on its own? Okay, so first question was, can AI think? But this question is different because we generate images with AI, we generate videos with AI, and Instagram is today is flooded with AI generated content. So the question is, do you think AI is creative? Can AI create an image with its own creativity? That's the point. So that's the question. Or a video with its own creativity. And the answer for this is as well no, because AI, as I said, works on the data that is given to it. So what AI does is that it takes paintings, pictures, photos, or art forms from other artists. It remixes it. It remixes it in some way or the other, uh, resamples it, and distributes it somehow, and then repackages it, and shows you that this is what I have created. But it's not real creativity. It's not the unique creative, or it's not creativity in general. It's basically remixing of the photos or ideas of other artists and then presenting it to the audience. So AI does not have creativity on its own as of now. And what it does is it really remixes, it really uses the existing data and kind of produces something new out of it. And so that's why I would say that it is not creative in it. So of course we want it to look creative. Of course it tries its best to look smart, as I've said. But it is still based on what data it has trained on and what ideas it could fetch out of that data. So that is what AI is trying to do. The fifth question that I have been asked a lot of times, and that's because I work with robots, as I've said. My research is around robotics and mechatronics. So the fifth question is something that I've been asked many times. People usually ask me that is a robot an AI? And I want to raise this question to everyone. Do you think that a robot is an AI? Let's say. And again, you would get few seconds to ponder and come up with your answer. Okay, so a robot is not an AI as well. Because a robot is just a machine that is programmed to do certain tasks. So it's a set of instructions that you give to a machine or a link of or a body of links, and you say that just repeat this task. So it is not learning anything. But a robot with an AI integrated algorithm or chip becomes an AI machine, obviously. But a robot by itself is not an AI machine because it just is a, a machine or a link of bodies that is programmed to do certain tasks. So not necessarily it is. In fact, not in this case. It is AI at all because, as we said, and as we have written it on the top, that AI is a technology capable of learning and using knowledge to perform tasks, something like humans. But it is not a technology that is just a link of bodies and just does repetitive tasks based on instructions. No, AI is capable of learning by itself. And with this, unfortunately, for all my questions, the answers were no. And that was the trick part of it. There was not a single yes in all this. But we have learned something. We have learned something very valuable in all of these questions. So, firstly, let me give you summary and then say you what valuable lesson we have learned out of this. So, summary is AI learns from data. It handles uncertainty. It improves with experience, obviously, like a human can, a human being. It makes probabilistic predictions. It is based on mathematical models. It is based on mathematical ideas like linear algebra, probability, and calculus, and a lot of such mathematical models, which are beautiful and elegant in their ways. So, this is the summary of AI. That is what we realized out of these questions. But very importantly, what we also realize, and something that we have to know, and whenever we operate AI, we have to know that we should not surrender our intellect to the AI. And the reason for that is pretty clear because AI is not a factual machine. It does not throw facts. It is based on data that it has trained to be, that it has prior being trained on, basically. So, very important as a community, we have to talk and we have to take this pretty seriously that we don't surrender our intellect to the AI. What we do instead is we use AI to leverage ourselves. We use AI to accelerate our work or our commitments or our tasks or our movement altogether. So we can use AI as a very, very, very powerful tool for ourselves and for our movement, but we don't have to surrender our intellect to the AI. We have to question it, we have to use it, we have to use it ethically and nicely in a way. And that is what we'll be talking about in our sessions also in the future as well. So this was the summary. And now let's come to the initiative part of our the name of this particular initiative or group that we have. So this is inspired by the vision of Baba Sahib, Dr. Ambedkar. And the idea is this particular quote comes directly out of our white paper, which we have written. The idea is that we are trying this initiative aspires to democratize the access of AI and its associated knowledge systems. So we are trying to provide at some level AI literacy and deliver with you all what you can do with AI and what you are capable to do with AI basically, and how you can use AI in your day-to-day life. So the bigger goal is AI literacy, so that we all know what exactly AI is. And now that we have realized a very critical thing that AI works on the data that it is trained on, so we as a community or we as individuals should know what data are we dealing with or what data are we giving out or what data we need to produce because whoever controls data controls AI. So this is what we have realized in our previous slide, right? So it's very important for us to come together and to learn about AI and to use this knowledge to accelerate and to do some nice things in our own lives, in our personal lives, in our careers, and also in our movement altogether. So, as I said, to make AI knowledge accessible, understandable, and usable for the community so that everyone can use it, not just know it, but they can use it in their day-to-day life. Um, to cultivate the to cultivate responsible and ethical AI users, practitioners, and startups from the community. So, very important another aspect of this initiative is that let's say one of you uh, participants present here has a very nice idea, let's say, but you don't have a certain knowledge of AI, or you don't know how to develop a model that could solve that particular problem or that particular idea. So, in this case, this initiative is the place where you should come and we could accelerate these ideas because our goal, the bigger goal, is also to create a consortium or a group of people where you could come and pitch your ideas and this could be accelerated. Maybe you might find your partners from your startups here or something like that. So the goal is, of course, AI literacy, but also a group or a circle of for the community where we can talk and discuss ideas, startups, and where we can also accelerate our ongoing projects that we are working on at the moment, and much more, obviously. So this is AI initiative, and to start with the educational content of AI initiative, so it's split it in two parts. Today we are discussing foundation course. We are in the first session of foundation course. Um, and but there is also developers course which will be coming forth in the future. So what is the difference between these two? So firstly, foundation course is made for general audience. It's made for audience which do not necessarily have background in technology. Let's say they don't have tech background. They could be anyone literally. um, to give an example, I introduced AI to my father, which was so I introduced ChatGPT to my father. He does not have background in AI or AI development as such, but since I have introduced ChatGPT to him, he's able to work around with it really nicely and can accelerate his projects or his ideas with ChatGPT. So he writes a lot of interesting things and he can also interact with ChatGPT. He can also check sources on ChatGPT and then, of course, confirm it later on. But this has accelerated his work or his ideas that he comes out with and the articles that he writes. So this has definitely helped him a lot. So someone like this who wants to create content, who wants to create videos, who wants just to learn AI for the sake of job, let's say, or to help community in one way or the other, but do not have any background in AI. So the foundation course is for you. Here we will talk about how you can use different AI tools, which will be, of course, in the future sessions and not now. But on the other side, as you see, the developers course is dedicated more towards people who already have some background in programming or in AI altogether or model training. So the goal of developers course is to develop AI models, not use, but to develop AI models. And for that, we would need really expert audience. And there are a lot of projects that we plan for our community. And for this, we would need developers course. We would need people to develop and to learn how can we use and develop AI so that, of course, we can create our own models for the community. There could be n numbers of models. There could be n number of ideas. Maybe you might have an idea that an application, AI driven application that you want to create for the community. If you have such ideas, then developers course is for you. But remember, this course demands a lot of effort because you have to come with a particular background and you will learn eventually how to train an AI model, which is, of course, slightly difficult task. But you know what? The more difficult developers course sounds, the more easy it is to deliver for a mentor. I know it sounds very strange, and I have thought about this a lot. So when we created this foundation course and developer course that you see in front of you, I want to share some insights that I had as a mentor because I was planning to design these courses for us and for our community, and of course the other mentors. So when I thought of this, I realized which one would be difficult to deliver, more or less. So on a higher level, with a higher perspective, it looks like developers course which is more into programming and developing the models and training them, would be more difficult. But to be honest, when you think about this properly as from a perspective of mentor, I realized that the foundation course is more difficult for me to deliver because the audience in this course are going to come from different streams and different backgrounds. So they are going to have different stories, they are going to have different use cases for AI. And this makes it even more interesting for me because I have to now talk in a way and deliver this content in a way that everyone could understand and benefit out of it. On the other side, developers course is more of a strict process chain where you have set of rules, set of practices, set of programming algorithms that you go from onwards. But foundation course is where I have to adapt a lot more. So my knowledge is more going to be more tested in the foundation course than a developer's course rather. So that is what I call as more of a general problem rather, where we are dealing with a lot of general people. General means different audience from different backgrounds, like a general knowledge, which is a wider knowledge scope, not a knowledge of a specific domain, but a wider knowledge. Um, and this is where I want to introduce you a different topic of AI. It does not fit here, but it is a good place to understand what I mean with it. So with AI, we also have two types of AI actually. And right now, all the AI that we are using and seeing around you is called ANI, which is basically artificial narrow intelligence. It's narrow because it only works good with a particular application. For example, the same example that we gave previously, which was the lock screen of your phone. So to open your phone, you have to look into the screen. It recognizes you and it opens your phone, obviously. So it is better for one such application. What application? It is better to recognize you and then to work based on that. Self-driving car, web search, and a bunch of other applications and AI tools that we use today are part of ANI. But what AI actually humans are trying to reach, or what could be amazing in the future, I think it would take 500 years or more than that for us to reach there, to be honest, would be AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, which as a mentor, I'm trying to do. Basically, I'm trying to demonstrate general intelligence because the goal is that I am trying to adapt to a broader audience, an audience with different background, audience in the audience right now, maybe someone would be a poet, maybe someone would be a lawyer, maybe someone would be a sports person. So this is a broader audience, and to adapt the knowledge that I have and to learn from a broader audience and then to work with a broader audience, I would need not a narrow intelligence but a general intelligence altogether. So AGI roughly is something that is the scope of the future. We don't have any AGI at the moment. We don't have any artificial general intelligence. Uh, So there is no AI that can work like a human at the moment, but we have a lot of ANI. So all our AI is basically ANI, which is narrow intelligence dedicated for a specific application altogether. So I think now that we have understood about the initiative, I want to quickly walk you through the plans that we have for you all. And it is very important for you to understand this so that you can get the most benefit out of this initiative that we have. And it would be the best because you get the most benefit out of it and you can accelerate your work a lot more. It can be your learning curve, it can be the using of AI or anything that you want to do with AI, and I'm sure it will help you in your life, in your day-to-day life, if you know how to integrate it well. But you have to remember, as I've said, we don't have to surrender our intellect to AI, but we have to use it to accelerate our work. So let's talk about what we are going through in the next sessions. So, firstly, in the session two, which will be the next one, um, I think ideally next week, probably on Saturday, it would be about AI terminology. So here we'll discuss about um, what terminology is needed for you to be more confident about AI. So every time when someone is talking about AI, at least you know what AI is and then the terminology around it. So we want to make you confident, and that is the first session. The session after that is more on what is data and training of AI. This is pretty critical to know because um, we have to talk about data because, as you know, data is the future and every AI model is standing on top of data. So if you know what data is, how to control it, how to regulate it, how to work with it, then you know what AI is. And of course, we are going to talk from a higher level perspective because we have a broader audience. We are not talking about with people who have background in AI, but we are talking about people who have experiences in different domains of and who are living a different life altogether in different workspaces. After that, we are going to talk about ethical conduct and downsides of AI because AI, as I said, it's not the ultimate truth or ultimate machine that could solve all your problems. It also has a few downsides, and it's very important for us to know and use it properly to know what the downsides are. Um, okay, after that, we also have the prompt engineering class where we will learn how to really prompt an AI, how to give AI an information exactly so that it can respond us back pretty nicely. And prompt engineering is going to be very interesting and very important because it will definitely help you to use whatever AI tools you are using in a more finer and a nicer way altogether. But as you see below, we also have webinars, Q&A sessions. We also have Intro to Mathematics for AI, which is actually one of my favorite parts. And this is not a mandatory class in this session, but it is a session that is outside of the usual process, as you see, because it's a session that someone can voluntarily join because it's going to be very interesting. You are going to know about what is the underlying mathematics. How does mathematics makes this happen? And it is not calculating. It is not 2 plus 2 4 or 4 plus 4 8. It is not mathematics in that sense, but it is mathematics in how it works. How does mathematics captures all this data? How does it work around this data? What is the science behind all of it? And again, we are not going to go deep in these topics and talk about a higher level perspective on these areas. Then we are going to do hands on. The last three sessions are going to be hands on, which means you have to come with your own mobile phone or laptop into these sessions and you have to use them throughout the session. So we are going to learn a lot of resources. Maybe we'll learn how to edit a video with AI. We'll learn how to use tools of AI tools, for example, to search something, to write something, to create something of your own, to maybe write poems with AI or to correct your poems. So you can do a lot of things with AI, and we are going to introduce you a lot of tools uh, that are, of course, open source and free as well to use. So we are trying to collect all the good tools and resources for you so that you can use this on the last three sessions, which are more or less hands-on sessions, and it will make you grow in your capacity and caliber to use these AI models that are out there so that you can use it for your day-to-day life. Whatever you do, you can integrate it and fasten and rapid or accelerate your tasks in that way. And we will also have, of course, a lot of Q&A sessions where you can ask questions to the mentor, where we can discuss all of this that has been taught thoroughly, and we can revisit these videos again and again. Because all this content will also be uploaded on YouTube as we have planned. But the hands-on sessions and a few of the DIY project, which is do it yourself. These are the projects that we have planned for you all. Uh, and all these projects and webinars will probably not be on YouTube, but a lot of our teaching content will be there. So it's very important for you to join these hands-on classes in the future, which will make you uh, accelerate in your AI journey altogether so that you can use AI models in your day-to-day life or AI applications in your day-to-day life. Um, I think with this, I have more or less explained you what the idea is and what are the next steps in this journey with AI initiative. I just have a few points to say before we go to the next slide. One point would be with the rapid growth in AI and its technology, a lot in the world today is happening around AI, as we know. Um, Definitely, maybe AI is not that great that it will solve all our problems. Of course not. Also, AI is consuming a lot of our energy and water and a lot of resources. So it's not still at an ideal set stage that we could use it pretty nicely. But the point is, why don't we as a community, all of us, know what the trend is and where the train is going so that we can catch this train as soon as we can and then make the most out of it. And as we know, a lot of the one who controls the data is controlling the narrative in the future. So it's very important for us to know what the data is saying, what AI is, which direction AI is going, and how we can use it in our day-to-day life. As I have said, I have introduced AI to my father, and he does not have any background in AI technology as such, but he can use now a lot of AI models or tools to accelerate his day-to-day life. And he literally, so that day he clicked a photo of the ingredients that we had at our home, and he clicked a photo and he uploaded on ChatGPT just to ask a recipe on what exactly is this particular. So what can I do with these ingredients? And the AI suggested a few recipes. So this saved him some time, let's say. So there are tools like that that you can use and accelerate your work with, any one of you. And that is the plan of this initiative. The other point is that this is completely free of cost for the community purpose. You can ask a bunch of questions to any of our mentors. We have wonderful mentors in our group who have background in AI. There are also people who are doing research in AI, and there will be more and more mentors who will be added to this group. So this is your place to ask all the critical questions that you have about AI, or all questions that you were hesitant to ask elsewhere. So this is your place where you can ask AI and promote it as well to other people. You can also add other participants in the group, obviously, and then we all can go through this foundation course. So I think I have talked enough about AI, and let's now go to understand how AI is built and what is the backbone behind the AI. And for this, I imagine it as as layers of soil, basically. And it's very important for you to imagine in the future where you stand in the AI, in the world that is being slightly now more tilted towards the AI idea. So now, from now onwards, we are going to imagine that we are someone who, let's say, we want to start our company altogether. Okay, so from now onwards, in the future of this, the future, the slides henceforth, we have to imagine, or you all have to imagine, as someone who has an AI company. So you all are CEOs or CTOs of an AI company. I am one too, let's say. So what is important for me to know before I start my AI company? And this will help us to really build our foundation on what all things are changing with AI. And for that, we have to understand these layers of soil. So firstly, AI machines, our computers, our servers, our data racks, data storage, everything, of course, runs on energy, you know, electricity, physical infrastructure. So really, this is the backbone of the AI. We now know that around the Mumbai and Navi Mumbai region, there is a new city that has been planned, and this city is literally called an IT park. That it has an IT park, but actually, if you read it carefully, it's more or less a data storage platform, where they are trying to create huge data storage, uh, you know, places where they could store a lot of data and server racks, and then a lot of AI related developments that's going on there. And that is basically physical infrastructure. So the more you want to scale your AI, the more physical infrastructure and energy demands you are required. And these energy demands are skyrocketing, they are going up. As you could see, the global electricity consumption is said to be doubled in the next 4 days, in the next 4 years. So imagine whatever electricity we are using right now as human being on planet Earth is going to be almost doubled in the next 4 years due to AI, obviously. So the demand is tremendously increasing for energy and physical infrastructure. So this is where the money is also flowing. So if I have an AI company, I need to know, if I have an AI company, I need to know what where the money is flowing. So one thing I know now, yes, energy and physical infrastructure is really critical. It's the bottom bedrock, rock bed rather, of AI. What is the next layer within this soil, within the layers of soil of the AI? It is hardware. It is GPU. It is basically those companies that create these chips or these small GPUs that go inside. There are a bunch of other hardwares. GPU is something that is trending right now, and that's why it's so expensive. The prices for a graphical process unit, your computers, and everything is also increasing because the GPUs are getting more and more powerful, because that is where you build your AI models and train them on. So the hardware is the next layer of yours, obviously. And then the next three layers are pretty critical. So I want to create my company in the next 3 layers, let's say. So the next layer after the hardware is obviously data, because we talked about it. If we don't have data, what are we going to feed our models or AI models to? So as a company, we have to now talk about data. We have to talk about what type of data do we need, firstly. Do we have enough data? Or do we have just some boring data, let's say just 5 files, 6 files? That's not good for us. We need a lot of data. So after our energy, physical infrastructure, and hardware is set, now is the time we have to generate, collect, or label a lot of data. So this is one of a critical layer. And as you could see, it's one of a big chunk. It's a big layer there because it's pretty critical. And this is what defines how good your AI is. On top of this layer stands my company, which is the software, algorithm, and models, let's say. So this is where I would invite engineers to my company. I would hire them. I would hire developers, and I would say them, write me a software, write me models, do my algorithms. Here is the data. I provide them energy, I provide them hardware, I provide them the infrastructure. And now I have given them data as well. And now I've said them, just create your software, algorithm, and models. Once that is done, it directly translates to the application. So the top layer is the application. This is where the user or my customer is going to access my AI model. But as you see, the customer only sees this front user interface rather, but there are multiple layers behind it. So when you really understand these layers, you will see where the money is flowing when we talk about AI. So what is actually happening? So we know for sure the energy demands are growing up. So definitely the money is in the energy and physical infrastructure that creates energy, obviously. And you can see that pretty clearly as you track where the market is going. Data as a community, we have to figure out because it's the backbone, it's the middle layer of this soil layers. So this is where we have to also focus that how do we control and produce more and more data? And then how can we bring more and more skilled or produce skilled engineers or developers so that they can create software algorithm and models so that it meets the application and hence serves the customer's use case. So as I said, I am in this case just talking in terms of an AI company, but we have already understood where the interest or the liquidity is really tilted now and what is happening in the future. So with the future, you will quickly see the physical infrastructure going. You will see people are talking more and more about data and collecting more and more data. When you are on Instagram or when you order some food delivery app, you get some surveys to fill. You say yes, no. Was the food delicious? Yes. What did you don't like? No. This is all going to the database. This is all the data that you are giving to that company because that company, like this one, has a hardware, a physical infrastructure, and now it is getting data. And after that, it just needs engineers to create an application for you. So when you use Swiggy, when you use a bunch of other apps, you are actually following this particular process chain. And to grow your company, to grow your process chain, you grow your things, you have to, of course, follow this. Uh, you have to know about this. With this, yes, I think as we know, my company was more or less in the software algorithms and model. I want to ignore all the others because I have a group of engineers and we are building applications, let's say now. So what did the people have to, what is exactly software algorithms and model? So I just want to give you a very quick overview of it. We will not go much into detail in this because this is our first session. And I don't want audience, and it's not even necessary for a foundational course for us to really train a model. But to understand what an engineer will do in this stage inside your company or our company would be that let's say that I have a company that I want to grow plants. Okay. I want to track the health of your plant, suppose. So I give you a device which you can put on your plant or close to your plant, and it will track how well your plant is growing. I think it's a good idea because there are a lot of plant lovers. There are a lot of people who like gardening. So I have an idea. I have a company and I want to create so and so idea, which is tracking how well the health of your plant, let's say, which can be also how well your plants are growing. So in this case, you see for the growth of plant, there are many factors that really contribute to the growth of plant. One is obviously sunlight. A plant should get enough sunlight, right? So of course that's an important factor. The other factor is humidity. The other factor is soil type. It's not solid soiled, but it's soil type there. So you need not just this, but even more factors that contribute the growth of and the health of plant, basically. So let's say that the factors that contribute to the growth are X and the growth itself is Y. So what I do is I make a mathematical model and I feed these factors to it. I feed how much sunlight I have given, how much humidity I have given, what is the soil type, and I know what I have got out of this. The way you could teach a baby, you show a baby an apple and you say the baby multiple times that this is not a mango, but this is an apple. This is an apple. And slowly, 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 the baby tries to learn that the next time I see an apple, I'll call it an apple. So you feed this model with this much of factors that affect the growth of the plant. And you feed it also how much the plant has grown with these factors. And after some time, the model tries to predict. Now the model, now you give the model, like what does prediction means? So you give the model the sunlight, the humidity and soil type. And after some days, it will predict that, oh, plant has grown 2 centimeters, let's say, or the plant is healthy. It's 10% more healthy or 20% more healthy. So this prediction can be then compared with the labels and checked if the prediction is good. The day I get good prediction, my company is has been launched and I'm very happy. And that is when I sell my device. That is when I pack it as an application and I give it to you and I say, okay, you can use it. Because my model has predicted some answers pretty good. So the prediction accuracy of my model has grown. So this is what is the task of engineers in the backend of our layer. So we talked about multiple layers. This is the task that I'm running my company with and on with. Basically, this is the idea where my engineers are mostly working on a higher level, obviously. And this is what they do. This is how you train the models. This is how you come up with applications, and this is how you come up with AI models. Um, Now, just to motivate you a little bit, as we are approaching our, I think, near end of our slides, and we are also in time, exactly in time. So just to give you some motivation to use AI, if you have not yet, then you have to use after this session ChatGPT, which is an application, or you can also use it on your web browser. It's a wonderful AI tool. You can just try to understand it. As I've said, it's not a machine that will always give you a truthful answer. Don't rely on it. We don't have to surrender our intellect to it or any AI tool, as I've said, but we use it. We ask it questions. We can write emails with ChatGPT. We can write articles. We can write reports, and it can also operate in multilingual fashion or in a multilingual setting. Me, I have used ChatGPT in different languages, also in Marathi. Sometimes I communicate with ChatGPT in Marathi language. So feel free to use it in your language. You can also talk to it in audio. You can also text it and just figure out how it's working. Try to ask it critical questions. It will give you interesting answers. Try to make it work in some way, and it can try to learn some stuff and give you some and can help you with your work. So just try if you haven't tried. It's very important because everyone in the world is lately using these tools. So you should definitely try it. It's very easy to understand. The second thing, just to motivate you, is that in 2022, so it's been already 3 years, in fact, 4 years now, um, a particular uh, individual named Fabian Stelzer, he created a film completely by AI. So completely by prompt. He was just writing, he was giving a prompt that this is what I want in my scene. This is how the scene should look like. This is how the background should be. This is what I want to view. Uh, the camera should be this side and that side. So based on prompts, he created a complete movie, and he literally got a few awards for that movie as well. So why not we start doing that? As a community, maybe we might have so many ideas. Maybe there could be some community driven projects. One could be, for example, some episode from the life of Baba Sahib, some episodes from the life of uh, you know uh, Savitri Bai, I her stories, maybe some episodes from here or there, maybe some paragraph that you have read and you have been inspired a lot and you want to share it with everyone else. So you can create directly videos out of it with an AI tool and use it for yourself. A movie out of it. You can create a movie from your life. You can share your experience. You can share your knowledge, your wisdom, or whatever, or just package it in a video form or a audio form as well, or an image form. So this is what AI is capable of at this stage. And there are many other tools which we are going to introduce you, of course, in our coming sessions as well. And with this, I think are moving to our last slide. And very soon after this slide, I am going to open up the Q&A session. Um, and we will, and the mic would be then open for you to ask any questions. And if you have uh, any concerns or questions that I have on the slides that I've shown, you are also free to discuss that. And the Q&A should be lasting for 30 minutes, ideally. So things to take away from this overall session. So firstly, we have begun, it's called Ambedkar AI Initiative and the foundation course. So this is where you will get to learn how to use AI, some basics of it, and you will develop an AI literacy around this topic so that you will be confident and you will know how to exactly propel or move forward from here onwards. We talked about what AI is and what AI is not. We answered and addressed a few questions which were really interesting. And as you remember, all the answers for those questions were no. So basically, we really asked ourselves some interesting questions and we went through it. The third thing that I think you should take away is that how to create an AI company. Let's think bigger. Let's not talk small things because Baba Sahib has said us that even small dream or even dreaming small is a crime by itself. So why not we think big of ourselves? Why not we think something big and let's talk about our own company? And it's easy. We just described it. How can we do it? Of course, there are a lot of nitty gritties and a lot of tasks, operations that we would have to take care within it. But on a higher level perspective, we talked about the layers that enable AI. We talked about how the layers of soil, ideology, or idea or analogy can be used to describe what is building up AI. And we, from this, know what is happening in our cities and around our cities right now. What is happening with the market right now? Why are the prices of copper suddenly high? Because copper is used to build wires, let's say. And of course, we need it in AI infrastructure. Why is the prices of energy demand increasing so forth? Because AI requires it. All these things. Why is data so critical? So all these things we can more or less on a higher level perspective, obviously not in detail, but on a higher perspective can understand through these layers that enable AI. And the very important thing, the last but not the least, which I tried to communicate throughout our slides, were that we don't, as a community, we don't surrender our intellect to the AI. Because we now know that AI is based on the data that it is trained onto. It is just a tool that we can use to accelerate and leverage more and more in our careers, in our goals. We can also start earning money with AI. Obviously, we can create content with AI. We can do a lot of things, and that is what something we should do. And this is the idea. This is what is also the motivation of our initiative, obviously. But we don't surrender our intellect to AI. We don't. We use our mind. We use our intelligence to use AI, but we don't surrender it to the AI. So AI is not the ultimate truth, but AI is just a very interesting and important tool which can teach us and we can learn from it, or we can use it and leverage from it. So there are many things that we can do.